And we have returned. You're listening to CSC Talk Radio. We're going to go over these last two differences, she says. This is coming from Genevieve Wood. The second one, she says, conservatives and progressives have different views about diversity and choice. She says, for progressives, different ethnicities and gender identities are welcomed, but a variety of opinions and ideas are not welcome. Just look at the two areas of public life dominated by the left, she says. On college campuses, free speech is under attack. If you're conservative working at a social media company or using one of their platforms to share your views, you may find your job eliminated or your account deleted. She says when it comes to choice, progressives love the word, but they don't want to apply it to our decisions on education, health care, or even how and where we live out our religious faith. Conservatives take a different approach. Parents, not the zip code they live in, should choose the school that is best for their children. We all need health care, but we don't all need the same kind or same amount. And while people should be free to live as they choose, no one should be forced to endorse or celebrate those choices if it violates their religious beliefs. She says, as she concludes that particular section, conservatives say people should have choices. Progressives say one political solution fits all. On the third point she has here, and that's the final point, is conservatives and progressives have different views of a term that I use a lot, we the people. Whether it is the Second Amendment, immigration, or putting limits on abortion, if we the people don't pass laws progressives approve, they turn to judges, executive orders, government bureaucrats behind closed doors to overturn the will of the voters. Now, the majority of American people, lest we think progressives and conservatives are only Republicans and Democrats, put that thought aside. We have witnessed that the majority of the American people are not necessarily pro-abortion, yet we are led to believe that they are. And they call it pro-choice. But the majority of the American people also do not want to have the federal government, which is your tax dollars, paying for abortions, even if you are pro-choice. Yet the legislators refused, I guess they're the ones who put it in there, and they refused to take it out, the funding of your tax dollars for Planned Parenthood. It says here, whatever you may think about the wisdom of hiking in the minimum wage, of hiking the minimum wage, not hiking in the minimum wage, banning plastic straws, or removing controversial historical monuments, conservatives believe voters closest to the issues in that community should be the ones making those decisions for the communities, not the lawmakers. She sums it up here by saying conservatives believe in individual rights, not special rights. Conservatives believe in allowing Texas to be Texas and Vermont to be Vermont. And conservatives believe we, the people, can vote with our feet about where we want to live and what laws we want to live under. Tomorrow is an election day. It is an important election day, and unfortunately, we keep saying that more and more and more each election day. Because we are going farther and farther and farther down the socialist tube, where individual rights, which is what the Electoral College is about, the voice of the few, not to be overdone by the many. Whether it is about that, socialized medicine, where the Government gets into the business of your health, your religion, all the things they were supposed to stay out of. Each election day, we are farther down that hole and being controlled by government, by elected officials who believe themselves to be above the law and are making money making the laws. Remember what a wise listener said, those who make the laws practice the laws. And if you remember, and this has a lot of the people on the Republican side, or Trump side, let's put it that way, energized to go out and vote tomorrow, because we have been lied to, and we have been, the curtain has been taken back so that we could really see, if we already did not see, the hypocrisy. So when the senator, I think she's a senator, from Hawaii got up and I'm speaking of the Kavanaugh hearings, when she said that not only should women be heard, they need to be believed. And the man that was sitting in this hot seat that day, he was guilty without any evidence in her eyes. Of course, that was a political thing. But then just recently, the woman, she calls herself Jane Doe, she came out and said that she lied the whole time. She was a second accused, not a second one, but she was one of the other accusers that came out and said that Brett Kavanaugh had raped her. She came out and admitted that she lied. Not only did she lie, she had never, ever met the man. Not only do they need to be heard, they need to be believed. I don't think so. I think maybe you need to have a little more respect for men. And maybe the women should have a little bit more respect for themselves. But in America, all of us are innocent until proven guilty. But that's another thing down that hole that we have gotten farther and farther away from. Tomorrow is Election Day. Most of you will have voted before you ever hear me when I go on the air. I'm going to have Greg Owens here. We're going to talk about his adventures in Washington. It's going to be interesting. Thursday, we're going to have another trivia contest on the Constitution. Pam and Dave Barrett will be back with us. And tomorrow, Wednesday, Melody Cedarstrom and I will talk about what happened during the election. You need to vote. Don't be discouraged. Be determined to be a good patriot. Stand on independence and freedom and sovereignty and bring America home.